everybody, and welcome to another episode of Talking with PB, where I, PB, talk with you about things on my mind, current events, and generally things I just want to talk about. And there's two things about this intro I want to talk about. One, I really like it. It's very true. But two, every time I start recording a Talking with PB, I feel like I'm yelling at you guys. I don't normally talk this loud in my LPs, in like any of them ever. And that's because I can't visibly see my sound waves. I can't visibly see, how loud I'm talking. And I always tend to talk very, very quietly. Um, I don't know, because it just seems less weird to talk really loud in my parents' home than, than when they're not home or when they're asleep. So I always talk very quietly, and also I'm also trying to hear what's happening in the game. So that's normally how I talk. But in talking with PB, it's whenever, at least when I start off really loud because I could visibly see my sound waves. Also to check my sound levels and stuff. And so every time I do it, I'm just like, man, I'm just yelling at you guys. I feel a little bit bad. I also don't speak this loud on a normal basis. Again, it's just I don't have a good microphone. It doesn't pick me up very well, so I have to speak more loud than normal or than I would in my everyday life. And two, there was another thing I wanted to talk about my intro that I just can't remember anymore. I really like it. Let's see, it said, hello everybody, and welcome to I don't remember. Anyway, so on today's episode, I tried recording. First of all, let me apologize for forgetting to upload my Talking with PB last week. Completely slipped my mind. It hasn't been in the schedule for so long that I completely forgot that that's something I have to, render. Like make, edit, and render. Albeit it's the easier of all the things. I just have to figure out, which videos I have and haven't used. And I'm sure there's some overlap if you actually watch them. I don't know how many of you guys do actually watch the races in the background. I'm actually getting close to finishing the first half of that game. The second half, I don't remember what exactly it is. I don't know. It has a really weird campaign the way it works. I'm talking about Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 for those of you who are not aware of the game I am playing in the background. And that's all pre-recorded, so I don't get distracted and stuff. Soon, once I'm finished with this racing game, I'll probably change games. I have so many retro games. I have a little spool, is that what they're called? CD spool? The little CD, the little like round CD containers where you just have stacks upon stacks. I have several. I have, obviously, Need for Speed and Hot Pursuit 2. I have 007 Nightfire with, which one is this one? Kevin Brosnan? I don't remember his name. I have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I also own Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and that's as far as I went. My parents didn't buy me any more after that. Which is okay because I hear that they got all really sucky after that. And I have Need for Speed High Stakes, but I don't think I can record that one. I don't think it allows me to record it. My recording program, I also have GTA 2, GTA London, GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas. Those are a lot of my old school games. Also, I am no longer in my chair. I've given up the chair, my computer chair I'm talking about, because, I don't know, I got a little paranoid about it. If you guys watch B000100 on YouTube, he's also a Minecraft LPer, and I guess he's branching out into just playing regular games also, trying to make his YouTube channel last a little bit longer, once the Minecraft hype dies out, which a lot of people think it is. Personally, I really don't. Like, these were my expectations for Minecraft. The moment 1.0.0 came out, once the, release came out of that game, I stopped expecting them to release content. The fact that they continued releasing content was just amazing. So for me, everything after the official release of Minecraft, was just, icing on the cake. everything else, I don't really. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I do keep up with what's happening. What the developers of Minecraft are, making and stuff like that. And I don't like super keep up with what's happening, but I know YouTubers do. So a lot of the YouTubers I watch sometimes talk about it. But for me, literally everything they do, since that really official release a couple of years ago, is all extra. It's just icing on the cake. Guardian Temples blew my mind. Thank you, Mojang. That was amazing. Now they're coming out with new blocks. They're changing the Ender Dragon fight. Like, they're like making the longevity of this game last. And personally, I still love it. I still really, really enjoy it. I would really enjoy it if they gave us, stairs and slabs of everything. That would be great. But even like in modded Minecraft is gonna, even after Minecraft stops actually updating, I think modded will actually flourish even more. Because right now it's a lot of, I mean, there's a new, especially like in the 1.5, 1.6.4, and 1.7.10, and then 1.8. There was a lot of just, when is the official version gonna come out? Because we have a lot of pre-releases, so a lot of mod makers were very like, I'm not gonna release one for this one. I'm skipping over an official release and going to another one because there's no point. Like, we're so far behind at this point. So like, a lot of people always complain about, well, I say a lot of people, but I've heard a lot of YouTubers talk about it. Um, and I'm just like, it's they have to look at the whole community, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's just a little bit greedy sometimes to always expect new stuff. Like, I want new stuff right now. I want all my pre-releases right now. I don't know. It feels a little bit childish, but I mean, I guess it's sort of the pace Mojang put it at. I don't know. I don't know what the whole deal is, but like, I don't really expect them to come out with anything else. The fact that they continue to do so is just, you know, an extra little bit that I wasn't expecting. So for me, I'm perfectly okay with the game. Um, Albeit there are several bugs that I would love for them to fix, but you win some, you lose some. Hopefully, 1.9, whenever that comes out, is going to be just a whole bunch of bug fixes and just like a stupid amount of just probably feature. And like, I would be perfectly okay with just bug fixes. The fact, if they come out with like new features and new stuff in the game, that's just like all new stuff. That's like all, you know, having my cake and eating it too at that point. So, I was talking about my chair. I finally gave up on it. I was watching BWO, and he discovered that his chair was lopsided, and so he was sitting on a chair that was lopsided. Now my chair has been lopsided for a very long time, but I've noticed it. It's a mechanical issue. Well, it was a mechanical issue where something at the base of the chair where the metal and the actual chair itself meet together, something in that mechanism sort of offset it, and I guess was broken. I don't know, it's a second-hand chair. I didn't buy the chair. So anyway, so it was like offset, and over time it just became more and more drastic, and I sort of adjusted for it, and I would sit, I would favor the side that didn't wobble to the one that did. But like, it finally got to me. Like, I was having a bunch of back problems anyways because the chair is just so crap. Because I can't lean back on it. So I finally given up on the chair, and I replaced it with one of our kitchen chairs. And it's convenient because my mom recently compacted our dining room table. I guess like one of these sections of the dining room table was broken, so it was just sort of awkward sometimes. There's only three of us, and it was like an let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was a six-seater, and there's only like three of us, so we never used the other three chairs. So now she recently just compacted it, so now there's two just chairs that aren't being in use, and it was okay because I was using one of the chairs for my lessons. So that was the chair that always stayed in my room, and now I've commandeered another one, and now there's no extra chair, so it's great. The dining room table looks the dining room itself looks a lot less cluttered now. Who knows when I'll get a new chair, but as for now, this is fine. I'm just glad I can lean back now. Although I had to change my entire desk around. I had to rearrange everything. I took off. You know how desks have that thing where you have the pull out tab, I don't know, that, I don't know what it's called, the thing where you put your keyboard and your mouse and you can pull it out from under the desk, and you do stuff down there. I took that out because I also, my chair, because of the fact that there was that thing on the bottom of my desk. I could only sit really low. Like, I had to sit in the lowest setting because I'm a tall person. I'm 5'9", 5'10". I guess I should just start saying I'm 5'10". I don't actually know. It's been a very long time since I've measured my height, and I can't remember if I'm 5'9" or 5'10". And I didn't measure myself when I got my license either. I need to get my license now that I talk about it. I'm gonna go visit. Well, I'll talk about that later. Anyway, so I did a whole bunch of rearranging. I finally took out that tablet thing from under my desk, and I can, very easily sit now under my desk, and I'm very happy about it because, again, I'm a tall person, and my body was lower than my knees, and so it's very nice to just be able to sit naturally again. So, but we'll see how long. I mean, the chair even has a cushion, and I'm very happy about it. Because even my old chair, it didn't really have a cushion. So, all in all, this a kitchen chair is like a huge upgrade from my computer chair. And now I have to wait a month to throw it away though, because I guess all of you know, if you're adults, in suburban areas, trash comes on the rotation, right? Like, there's the regular trash of your bins that it takes out. Then there's the recycling, if you have recycling in your area. Every third week or something, they get the recycling, and then on the first of every other month, they pick up all organic matter. If you cut limbs off of your tree, if you, I don't know, if you have huge leaf piles, all of that stuff. That's the first month of every other month, and the subsequent month that is not being occupied by organic matter is all non-organic matter. So tables, couches, mattresses, everything that's not organic can goes on that every other month. So this upcoming, this past, I guess for you guys, this past Monday is all organic matter, and now, so I just miss it. So I miss it by my stubbornness because I didn't want to throw the chair away. I kept telling my parents I'm not going to throw the chair away, but it's for the best. So I got really paranoid about it because the BOO talked about how some of his viewers were telling him that it's very dangerous, and it's bad. It's really bad for your health to sit in a lopsided chair for various reasons, and I got really paranoid about it, and I finally was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna change it all. And because of this change, because now I don't have the little tablet under my desk, I used to have my TV, which is my computer monitor, also, right at the front of my desk, because I have a L-shaped desk. I have a corner desk, so I have a lot more room in the corner, and that's where I sit and do all my business. And so I just have a whole lot of more room, and so and then there's this elevated area where you're supposed to put your monitor and stuff that I has my actual desktop monitor, but I don't have a desktop. So I finally rearranged everything, and now my TV is up where my monitor used to be, and now where my TV used to be are my mouse and keyboard. And it's really nice because it's very ample. I have a lot of room. I don't know. It's just all in all a huge upgrade. I'm really happy I did it, and I'm just trying to get used to it now. I'm trying to get used to the mouse placement and having so much room, and having my keyboard above and stuff like that. I really need a new keyboard though. One of the things I don't want to say like I'm an Apple fanboy or fangirl, I guess, but I really appreciate just how much thought is put um in their products. Like say what you will about Apple products and Apple and them as a company and all of that, but they make quality stuff. Um iPhones are quality. Their OSs probably shit. All the actual like technology stuff um in there probably, you all have your own opinions about it, but the actual item itself, that is a very well made item, and they're always innovating, and I really appreciated that about Steve Jobs. And when talking about the MacBook or the Mac itself, one, holy crap at that screen. Have you guys ever like actually use a Mac screen? Those things are freaking beautiful. That display, beautiful. Like they put time and effort into that screen. There are expensive TVs that are not that good. And, people are like, during the whole plasma TV thing and the LED and the LCD and how you could choose from the three and they all have their pros and their cons. Like, just get a Mac. Like, if Mac were to sell TVs, I bet you those TVs would last you forever. Because their quality of just image quality is amazing. Like, I love it. And the other thing I really like, I don't like their mouses. I understand, what their intent with the mouse is. I don't like their mouses. I'm just so used to my own mouse. So, or PC mouses is what I'm trying to talk about. And I have a friend who uses the stationary mouse with the little ball that you move around on the side with your thumb or whatever. She has one of those. She loves that. I'm not a fan. Um, and like I can do trackpad on like laptops and too also. But what I really like are their keyboards. And the reason why I like their keyboards is because it reminds me a lot of my laptop's keyboard. It is, square buttons, all very compact, very easy to push, very close to the, mechanism. You push it down, it comes back up right away. And I really, really like that. I don't like the clunky, normal looking keyboard or, the normal keyboard. So I'm always on the lookout for a cheap, a cheap keyboard that looks like a Mac's keyboard because I love it so much. And so it's always very jarring going from my laptop keyboard to this keyboard I have, a regular desktop keyboard, like a cheap $10 one. I've talked about it before. So always on the lookout for a cheap version of that because I freaking love it so much. And iPads, man, don't even like I said, say what you will about Apple, but they make quality products. Like the number of times that, all these other items that I've had have broken, like MP3 players, my friends have gone through Zunes, their own off-brand MP3 players, their phones, all of these things. But, my iPod always lasted past that. Like I had the only I can't remember why my original classic iPod stopped working. I can't remember. I don't even know if yeah, it stopped working, but I don't remember why. I don't know if it just, stopped working or if my mom washed it or something. I don't really remember what happened, but my original first iPod lasted me forever. And then my classic lasted me a really long time also, like the remake of the classic lasted me forever also, except I lost it. So that's the reason why I don't have it anymore. My own human error, so to say. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about now, 20 minutes in, don't worry, it's not going to be a very long topic. But what I wanted to talk about, so I recorded another one of these talking with PBs in anticipation of, missing last week's, but it got really sad really quick, and I didn't want to put it up, and I'm not going to put it up, because of that. I don't know, like I said, it just got really sad. So, and I didn't want to put it up because I don't want, I just don't want to put that content out there. It's not that, I mind having that stuff about my life out there. I just, it was a real downer, man. It was a real downer, and I just don't want to, make you guys feel down. I want to, have some like good vibes going on here. So, and that's sort of what I'm trying to do just in general in life is trying to, get with the positive and ignore the negative. So what I wanted to talk about anyway, so in that last episode that you guys aren't going to hear, I tried to end it on a happy note after, a really long talk. And it was really long too, which is, partially why I also didn't upload it. But what I got into I was going through my files and I was talking about my files and why I felt a certain way about certain files. And one of the things that was there was my bucket list. So yes, I have a bucket list. I made this bucket list. I guess it's a little bit of a downer. I made this bucket list when I was feeling really really down about life. I was really just not in a good place, and I needed sort of a thing to just ignore my real life for a second, and I sort of got this bucket list, and it was sort of like a really easy bucket list. The first things I put up there were very easy. Things that I could accomplish, things about my school life that I can accomplish, and were sort of short-term goals more than something that I'd want on my bucket list, but just where I was in life and stuff, I made it my bucket list. But I've since then accomplished those first two things, which I've deleted, and I have no idea what those first two things were in my bucket list. But oh, I do because I also have a bucket list on my phone. So let's see what those first two were. If they're not too down, let's see. Memo pad, bucket list. Why did I take those off? I want to have those on there. Let's see, does this go any longer? Let's see, this one goes until 35. Oh, this one does go way longer. Holy crap. Well then, let's talk about the one on my phone then, because this one is the one I update regularly. So my number one, I guess I changed them. I accomplished one and two because these weren't my original ones. But my first one is buy a bass, and I mean a bass as in a basic guitar. Guys, I have wanted to learn how to play a gay guitar, a bass guitar since I was probably 11, probably 12, 12, 13. Man, that sounds like I'm such a child back then. But I was like 12 or 13, and I really I fell in love with the bass guitar, and I really wanted to learn how to play it, but I just never did. It was when back then the internet was dial-up internet and AOL, and Yahoo was barely becoming a thing. MySpace was just a thought in somebody's head and would later be implemented a couple of years later. Like there was no YouTube videos where I could sit down and watch someone teach me how to play the bass. So now it's a lot easier, but now I have no money. So one day I'll buy a bass, and then number two, to go along with number one, is learn to play the bass. Obviously, that's I feel like that goes hand in hand, but I just really want to learn how to play the bass. I freaking love the bass guitar. It's just, I don't know, it's just so, it's like the meat, it's the meat of a song. Like, guitar is great, but I play the flute. I know how to play the flute. I know how to play the piano. Those are all very high pitched instruments. I want to play something that, is made for that bass, that low register, and that really fills out sound. And I believe bass is that. So number three, I have to explain a little bit, because it's get a real A in juries. Juries, if you're a music major, know any music majors, you know what a jury is, because we panic during this time of month. It's during finals. It's probably, if you're lucky, it's either right at the beginning of your finals week or right at the end. For me, I think it was right at the end. No, it was right at the beginning of finals week. So that set the tone of finals week. Finals week being the week after school ends and your college and university classes end, and you have a whole week to just take tests, proving your competency in the class. So it's get a real A in juries. So I've gotten an A in juries before, but I didn't think I deserved it. Everything I played was very very easy. I didn't do anything extraordinary. It was just, I did what I was supposed to do, and I don't like that I got an A there. Juries are supposed to be, so what, I haven't explained it yet. Juries are this thing where all your professors, or a select few professors, well, depending on your school. For us, it was a select few of professors who had time that day, that morning, were to sit down in a room. For us, it was a stage, and they would sit there, and they had, a paper of, requirements for every grade, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. And on there were requirements like freshman, you can only ask to play these scales, and, this is how much time is allotted. Like for, I think it's like 20 minutes for, or like 10, 20 minutes for freshmen. It's like 20, 30 minutes for, I think it's like 20 minutes for sophomores, and like 30 minutes for um, juniors and seniors, or juniors, and I don't think seniors have to do juries because they have an actual recital they have to do. I think they have to do one, but it doesn't really count. Anyway, so what you do is you go into a room all alone with all of these professors as your judges, and you go in and you provide them all with a packet of your repertoire, everything you worked on that semester, from your scales to exercises to etudes. Etudes being simply a piece of music. I say simply, they're actually really difficult. A piece of music written specifically to only work on a certain technique, whether it's a certain difficult key, whether it's a type of articulation, fundamental, whatever. That is an etude. And all the pieces you had to learn that semester. And so you provide them with a packet of all of that, and from there they pick. They tell you, do you want to play your scales first? What do you want to do? Do you want to do your scales, your etudes, or your piece first? And it's recommended you do your scales first, and then your etude, and then your piece, or vice versa. Depending on, because it's a game for you too. Like if you feel really confident in your etude, they won't pick your hardest etude, or they won't pick the etude you don't want to play because it's the hardest one. Or you could play your piece, and then chance the fact the piece you want to play, and then chance the fact that they're gonna pick the etude you're the least comfortable with. It's a game you also have to play, whatever. So you sit there and you ask them for a scale. You say you want to do scales first. They tell you a scale that your grade, is required to know. So for freshmen, it's your majors, your first semester, minors, your second semester, and then it's like natural, your first semester, your third semester. Then it's harmonic and melodic, your fourth semester, and stuff like that. And or I think it's just harmonic. I don't think they go to melodic your sophomore year, but so that's what you do. You ask them, and they throw out one. They tell you like A flat minor, and you play A flat minor. And then you ask, then they ask you to play. You get to choose one. You get to choose one thing you can play. And I would always choose etude. So sometimes they would ask me to play another etude after I performed, or they would ask me to perform a piece. Just depending, whatever. Sometimes you have to play two etudes. It's it depends again on your semester, what semester you're in. And so it's a very nerve-wracking process because you can get into like a lot of trouble if you don't do well in your jury. So it's a very nerve-wracking time because if you don't pass, it's basically like you have to stay a whole other semester in school until you pass that jury. And some people, some schools take it way farther that you're out of the program if you don't pass it, whatever. So for me, it's get a real A in jury, so I feel actually proud about it and not just being like, I don't deserve an A. Anyway, so number 4 is have a music library with over 10,000 songs, and not just like any 10,000 songs. It's like 10,000 songs that I would enjoy and listen to. Number 5 is watch Wagner's 3-day play, and I believe that play is called The Ring, based off of Tolkien, I believe, and it's just a long haul. It's not really that great of a play either. I mean, there's some great moments in it, like all of Wagner, all of Wagner's plays, operas, I guess, to say. but like they're far and few between when your entire play is like 12 hours long. Anyway, so I really want to watch it though, and there are several opportunities for you to watch it every once in a while. So I don't know if I'd recommend it. I'll tell you if I ever watch it. I'll tell you, whether or not I recommend it. Number 6, visit the Mayan pyramids. Now, this is something I've wanted to do for a very long time because my heritage is from Mexico, and I just sort of want to learn more about just people who used to inhabit, the indigenous people that used to inhabit Mexico and the surrounding areas. Number 7 is go to Cambodia. Now, I have friends who are Cambodian, and they make it sound like a blast. So I really want to go to Cambodia. And to tie in with that, number 8, go to Thailand because I also hear that's a beautiful place. Number 9, I don't know why I changed the wording here, but I said visit Toronto. Not go to, but visit Toronto. I don't know. I've just always wanted to go to Toronto. It seems like a grand place to go, especially if you're into the arts and stuff. Let's see. Number 10 is own the house of my dreams. I don't know what the house of my dreams is, but I imagine when I see it, I'll know it. Number 11, get married. Now, when I put this on the list, it was back in the day. It was probably 2012, I want to say, probably 2012. I wrote this list. So, yeah, 2012. That's safe to say. And albeit things were looking on the up and up for equality, marriage equality, if there were nowhere where they are now. I think there's only 10 states now that don't allow or haven't ruled in favor of gay marriage yet, and there are several that are still in courts right now. So we'll see. And I want to get married in Texas, which is why this is on here. And very red state, very red and conservative. Anyways, moving on. Number 12, have kids. Not so much like me conceive kids, but just have kids, whether it's adopted or my wife has them or whatever. Number 13, become head band director. This is just something I want to do. I just want to be the head band director. To have a lot of say in the program. But that'll come with time. Number 14, learn the ukulele. That is coming along. I know how to play several things on the ukulele. I just don't know the ukulele. It's like the fake learn where you learn how to do it because you see, you see how to do it. You don't actually understand the instrument, which is what a lot of people do with guitar. They don't really understand the instrument, and they couldn't make something like they couldn't make their own song with their own modifications because they don't truly understand the instrument. And that's where I am with the ukulele. I can play things, but I don't truly understand what I'm doing. So getting there. Number 15, this is just sort of a goal I have for my program, for my band program in the future, and all my band programs. Really, I want to do this in all the schools I go to. Number 15 is make a lasting relationship between the choir director and the band, which is just something that I believe would just help some students out who want to go into music. I know it helped me a lot. Oh, but wow. It helped me a lot when I did it my senior year. And I know I have a lot of friends who did it a lot earlier than me, and I know they had a lot easier time, and it's just so useful when you're going into college and stuff like that. And I believe it would just be a good experience for everyone as a whole. Number 17, pipe dream, guys. Be debt free. Pipe dream. Number 18 is own a German Shepherd. Now, if I had a bucket list when I was like 3, this would have been on my bucket list. From then, first of all, I've always wanted a dog. My parents never let me have a dog. They've had a lot of dogs before they had me, but apparently I was enough. They didn't want another dog. The reason I had a cat was because one of my cousins literally just threw it at my family. Well, not literally, but they, forced it upon my parents to give me a cat that, was there. And they guilted them into it, and I had a cat. He has since passed away, R.I.P. Sammy. So I've always wanted a German Shepherd. I just think they're the perfect dog. They're beautiful. They're just amazing. people, amazing dogs, and you don't have to really deal with their hair that much. Um, Number 19, buy a new flute. Also, to go back to number 18, German Shepherd, it doesn't have to be a full bred, purebred Shepherd. I'm gonna get a dog from the pound or like adopt a dog or whatever wherever you get it. When and if I ever get a dog. Number 19 is buy a new good flute. I say good flute because I can buy a new flute, but that doesn't mean it's a good flute. And also a pipe dream at the moment. They're not that expensive. They're about the one I want to get is about it's under $2,000 or like a little over. It's around $2,000. But that's just way too much for me right now. So number 20 is own a nice, hardy, expensive desktop. It's something I've always wanted, and one day I'll buy a good desktop computer and I'll be able to, use it without being afraid of it, dying. Number 21 is buy a badass laptop. I just want a badass laptop, I think, because that's what I'm going to use the most, the laptop, because I'm going to spend a lot of time at work, theoretically, or just not at home to be on a desktop. So I believe a good, hardy, badass laptop is in store for me whenever I get really serious into my career. Number 22 is own the latest Mac computer with the largest screen. This is sort of a luxury, sort of necessary to some extent. Macs are really good for people who do art or people who do things in the arts, whether it's actual art, graphic design, film, music production, anything under any of those, any, bullet point under any of those. It's just Macs are really, really good for all of that. They're very easy to use and they have a lot of resources that you can use on them. And it's basically their design for people who do things in the arts. So, when I was in school, we had a bunch of Mac computers in the arts building. It was a theater and music building, and the graphic design building. And we all use Macs in that building in our computer labs, our own computer labs, and they were just so nice to work with. So I just really want one because I know it would make everything much easier on me in the future once I'm very serious into my career again. Number 23, own a Mac laptop. Again, just because I'm probably going to be moving around a lot, I think Mac laptops would be very useful when I'm doing things, like arranging music, doing score study. Although probably could be replaced with iPad. And I don't want all of these like at once, guys. I just want these like over the, I just want to experience all of these at one point in my life. Although I feel like Mac computers are something, if they still exist, in 20, 30 years, are something I really want to, embrace into my everyday life. Because at the moment, I don't own any Apple anything. My phone is BlackBerry. My laptop is Toshiba. My TV is Vizio. I don't have an MP3 player anymore because I lost my iPod. That was the only Apple product I ever had. So, womp womp. So moving on. Number 24 is just or the equivalent of the last three at the time of crossing these off. Let's see, number 25 is learn how to shoot a gun. Even though I'm from Texas and I went to school in Ohio, does not mean I know how to shoot a gun. I just think it would be a useful skill to know. I don't want to own a gun, but I feel like if ever I was near a gun and had to use it, I feel like I would want to know how to use it if I have to use it. Number 26 is learn how to do archery, because you never know what's going to happen in life, and you never know when you're going to need to know how to use a bow and arrow. Number 27 is have an amazing sound system in my home and office. Why? Because I'm very obsessed with music, and headphones are actually really bad for you. That's why they say a lot of my generation, and generations after me, are going to lose their hearing very, very early because we listen to music at a higher decibel than we're supposed to. and we are slowly losing our hearing the more we listen to loud music. Just because earphones, earphone technology and headphone technology has increased so much that people use it a lot more and they enjoy listening to loud music. They enjoy, bumping up the volume, even though it's really, really bad for you, really bad for your ears. So stop doing that. And if you do it, do it for very short periods, to lessen your risk of damaging your hearing. Number 28. Own the latest and awesome consoles if they still exist. In parentheses. I've never owned a console. I played on the SNES a little bit when I was really, really young, and my cousins left it here. But then it shortly afterwards stopped working. So I had very short time on a SNES. Let's see. Number 29. Be a great parent. Number 30. Do something completely selfless, and that rides off of a lesson we sort of did. It sort of is pinging off of two things. One, I watched Hannah Hart and Chester C do a wine stream. Hannah Hart is known on the internet for My Drunk Kitchen. Very fun series. I recommend you watching it. And Chester C is known for his music, and I believe he was just on, oh god, rock and roll, whatever that rock and roll Broadway show is. He was just on that. Anyway, so they were talking, and they were talking about people, when does it count when someone does something to help others? Like, is it still considered, a good thing if someone does something because they get something out of it? Like, they do a good deed just because they get something out of it, they feel better to impress someone, anything like that. And they had both differing opinions, and so you sort of got to hear both sides, and whichever one you related more to, you felt like the other person was absurd. And also, it bumps off of a lesson I had in my leadership class, and and our professor posed the question of, um, is any, is it possible to ever do something that is completely selfless? Something that is selfless, because people who do, philanthropy and stuff like that, um, they do it and they feel good about it. So, in a sense, it is selfish because they're doing something, albeit a very good thing. They're doing something because it'll make them feel good. So it's not, completely selfless. And a lot of people do things to help others because it will make them feel good, or it will help them in some way. So he posed that question to us, and it really affected me. So this is on my bucket list on the off chance that I've ever do something that is completely and utterly selfless. Number 30, and if you want to discuss that down below, feel free. I answer most, if not all of my comments, especially on this series. Number 31, ride a horse. Again, I feel like if I'm ever presented a horse, I would want to know how to ride it. It's sort of like swimming. I also don't know how to swim. I probably should throw that on here and learn how to swim. I feel like I'll just know how to swim if I'm ever in a situation where I need to know how to swim. That's probably a little ridiculous, but whatever. Number 32 is also has a small story accompanying to it, but we'll see if I say it. My number, what number is it? Number 32. Play a small tune on a lute. Lute, for those of you who do not know, a lute is an instrument from the Renaissance period, that is the predecessor of the guitar. The lute is a very, it sort of looks like a mandolin, sort of. It has, I believe, 11 strings, and you pluck it, and strum it, just like a guitar. And we had to do this thing. I think it was called the Ebbs and Shade series or something like that. My school always did it, and music majors always had to go to it, especially when it was a musical performance. And one time, like, we were forced by grade and to go. We would get doctor grade if we did not go, and or if we didn't go for like a really good reason. And we pre-warned that we were not going to go. so there was a Renaissance group that came to play, and Renaissance music for it's a very acquired taste. Um, it can be described as boring. It's not necessarily boring, but like I said, acquired taste, and it's an acquired genre, and none of us were very excited to sit there for 2.5 hours to listen to it. It was fun. It was all right, I guess. But there's this guy playing the lute, and me and my friend sitting next to me, Jessica, we were like obsessed with this guy and the lute. Well, more with the lute, because we thought it was the coolest thing ever, and we wanted to go up there and be like, "Hey, we're music majors. Do you mind if we touch and play with your lutes a little bit?" And we didn't, but we really wish we did. So now that is on my bucket list to play a small tune on a lute. Um, Number 33, personal. Number 34, go to a concert. I've been to symphonies, I've been to operas, I've been to all of that. Never been to a music concert. I've never been to like an AC/DC type concert. I don't know why Aerosmith was my first instinct, but I don't like Aerosmith, so I went to AC/DC. I've never been to like that kind of concert, and I've always wanted to go. Specifically South by Southwest. Since I'm so close, I've just always wanted to go. Number 35. Oh, it still works. Number 35 is something different on the bucket list on my computer, but we're switching over to my phone. Number 35, teach abroad. I just think it would be an interesting experience to teach abroad. You always learn something from going somewhere with a completely different community and completely different traditions. I learned that going up to Ohio, which is drastically different than where I live in Texas. Let's see. Number 36, go to Germany. I've wanted to go to Germany since I was in high school, in early high school. I'm really obsessed with Germany. I've always wanted to go, and I've always wanted to also learn German, except I can't do the U with the upsilon, or the upsilon, I guess. The very guttural U sound, I can't do it. So I have a very hard time trying to say anything in German. But I do know nine, so you'll hear me say that a lot, especially in my videos. Nine is my go-to no. Number 37, buy an iPad. When I was taking a class called Teaching Music with Technology, we had a terrible class. I hated it. It was just really, really bad. It was a really bad class. I think it's a great concept. Execution, terrible. But we had to. There was a portion of the class where we had to write a lesson plan based off of an app on an iPad, because iPad and the App Store, the Apple App Store, has a huge variety of applications that you can download on your iPad and use for class. Essentially, you can use it to teach a lesson, or teach something in your music class, or a bunch of uses. It's a great utility for musicians as a whole. And the school loans them out for that specific reason, for you to learn how to use them and apply them to lessons. Unfortunately, they don't let you download anything, so it was a bit of a waste. But we were still able to use them for a week, and I fell in love with the iPad. And I had a friend with an iPad, and I would always watch her do stuff on it, and it was just amazing, and I loved it. And there's a game on there that I really, really liked. That she had. It was one with little fuzzy things, and what you had to do is you had to slide the little fuzzy whatever they were called, and you had to match up the colors. But like, I think you had to have, when two of them got together, they vanished, and you had to make sure they were all gone. But you couldn't, like, if you had to hit the fuzzy things, or you had to hit the certain immovable objects in the game, because otherwise, if you like just flung it and hoped it would land on the edge of the screen, it would just fly off the screen, and womp womp, you're done. I really liked that game. I don't know what it was called. It was something with little fuzzy things. Maybe some of you know. Oh, I just put my phone down like I'm not looking at it. Number 38. make a YouTube channel I would watch. I have a YouTube channel. Now I'm trying to work on the making content that I would enjoy and watch. Number 39, be myself. I feel like this is something, especially a lot of young people have to really go through. And it's just be genuinely yourself, because yourself is the most interesting thing. Trying to be anything else, you're just, pretending, you unique person as yourself are an amazing person, and you should not try to be anybody else because you're you. And that's something that, I'm working through. I'm trying to get it away from the habits that I do that I don't do because of me, I do because of other people. Number 40, buy clothes I like. That'll come when I have money to buy clothes. Um, Number 41, personal one, lose weight until I'm at my ideal size. And number 40 true, because I saw 43. That's my combination of 42 and 43. And number 42 is live in Glasgow for a year. Glasgow, I believe, is in Scotland. Scotland is another place I would love to visit. I wanted to visit Glasgow since high school, since early high school, and I really want to do it. It's just something I really want to do. So, that's all I have for you guys today. That's my bucket list, as of now. My question is actually for once going to be related to the topic I'm talking about. I tend to do that just because sometimes I get into deeper subjects or deeper topics, and at the end of the episode, I just want to be like, hey, let's think about something else. Tell me down below this random question I asked, which I'm genuinely interested to know your answers to. So if you think I'm just asking them for like shits and giggles, I'm actually asking you because I'm really interested in other people. I'm other people's responses because I'm just interested in people as a whole and their responses and their interactions with each other and people. Anyways, so my question of the day is, do you guys have a bucket list? And if so, um, tell me, tell me something that you find that you really want to do on your bucket list down below, or tell me, something really interesting or something you don't think is on everybody's bucket list down below. My favorite thing on my bucket list is play a small tune on a lute. Not my lutes because lutes are very expensive. So play a small tune on a lute. I don't know why I love it. I loved it when I wrote it down. I loved it, having that on my bucket list. And I don't, maybe it's just how I worded it. I don't know. Whenever someone asks me about my bucket list, that's the first thing that comes to mind. All those other things I forget about. But play a small tune on the lute, always my go-to bucket list thing. So don't forget to answer the question down below. What do you have a bucket list, and what's one of your favorite things on your bucket list, or something that you don't think is on everybody's bucket list? So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I don't know if I should say anything else. Go check out March's MHC. I haven't recorded it yet, but I'm sure I'm flailing around, running around, trying to figure out, what I'm going to do in my little 16 by 16 space. Because we are doing the Zero Chunk Challenge, which means you can only place blocks in your original chunk. And I don't know if it's your original chunk. I'm just assuming it's your original chunk that you spawn in on. But you can leave that chunk and you can, do other things, but you can't kill any animals, and you can't place any blocks outside of it. You can break blocks, but you cannot place any blocks. So, and also my Let's Create series, this week is going to be all about not building, not building like village stuff. Right now I'm working on trying to figure out the most efficient way to do a sugarcane farm. Right now I'm getting like severe diminishing returns. I'm getting way less than half of, what I've only gotten, halfway through. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way to do it, and we'll see what I end up doing on. I think it'll either be Thursday or this past Tuesday or this past Thursday's episode. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a small one. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to check out my other two series. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!